6 o'clock. I'll call the meeting order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, and
Thank you. I'll look for a approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Have a motion by Julie. Is there a second? Second by Tim. Discussion.
I forgot to mention to you earlier. But I took. Oh, you didn't.
Okay. It is off there. Mention that too. Okay. Just is hearing none in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion. Like commenting, approval of the consent agenda. All right, I have a motion. Scott, is there
I'll second.
second? Julie? Discuss.
show up instead of a one contest. I'll break back cross country back for the fair to those few hours because only 3 people will meet and to meet so we have numbers get right in order. We are working right now. Simply having a top schedule and location for a stay within. Volleyball, football, is a we cut back, only cut back, and crossover game, we'll start. We are working constant. We do have state high school, not high school, a lot of time. We can actually help junior high football if we want. So like, it's an opinion, or there's board meetings, and most of us in conference, saying, I'm not sure who some guys, some athletic directors, I should say, want to have the season to help with busing issues later on, facility issues, although there's also some other problems to look at back to the best. Yep.
So, I want to have a problem with it. I guess the only reason I'm not doing high school is because of the high school league. So if we follow the COVID practices, I'd be fine with it. But that's just my opinion. I mean, that's just me.
And one of the cons to that is, the one of the reasons we did that is once we have a pickup, we're not just that season, the next. We do put more jeopardy because of also I think that's for the team from school now, but that's having winter sports programs also. And I like your opinion. That is
I'm
the reason. Anybody else in that can share?
For the senior high road,
There's one practice that's supposed to be automatic. They're all spring school at that practice. And they're doing all that practice. We haven't had the direction yet. We don't know. I think it's open it up. The school figures out how they do it, and it's like the facilities, and now we'll put the kids in the spot. We got the baseball coach on track for the football coach. Or are they going to come back and give us some direction as to which sports? I'm making this up. We get football that's 12 practices, baseball that's 12 practices. We don't know where that stands yet, so we're not going to start those practices until we get no direction. And what they're going to allow that they, it's required on us, that expectations.
So for the junior high sport, we would have the schedule amount of games as normal?
Yes. We may not, but I mean.
But I mean, there's no restriction on
No
that.
restriction.
Good.
Where in the high school season, there's going to be 6 football games, I only have 7 that I would expect to do this. Yeah, the problem is, if we choose to go on with it, then we have, and we don't see there's about 17 to jump out, all of a sudden, we do this whole season, different out of it, and we have to leave. And we won't.
Do you think you will have the sports practice? And,
That'll be up to the coaches.
okay, so I can see that being really difficult, kids that participate in fall and spring sports.
Right, well, that's why if we do it and the state high school doesn't give us guidance, we're gonna have a meeting with the coaches and then we're gonna have, I want these days, I want this, maybe, I hope the school do not get students. You have to do football practice and baseball practice, if that's not fair to them, so we're gonna have to give and take a little to make it, work for them and fair for the kids. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
I don't know, I think it's almost gotta be a conference, because it doesn't do us any good to play it. It's too much risk for reward.
Right.
If the other schools are gonna do it, it's probably that be checked.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You guys can email me if you think of something else. Then, the last one was the letter of agreement that's in your board packet. I think it's got 5 pages. Chair just wanted to add that as the soda, paid activity supervisors and coaches. And it is, pretty self-explanatory on the second page, number 1, the same, full round compensation. And so if the season starts, the coaches are going to get paid 50% of the season, then the season has to be canceled because of COVID or something along those lines. If it goes past the halfway mark, the coaches and activities provided to get full pay for that season. Are you guys all liking it?
Yep.
Okay. If the season gets canceled, according to this, it gives the coaches the ability to get some of the paid. First one, head coaches will have to put in 30 hours of time. They got to prove that with the meeting, and then I'll keep track of it. We'll come up with different groups. There's always stuff to do. We have things that need to be way better organized. Field work, things that can be done there. It could be inventories, could be getting rid of equipment. Like in basketball, we have uniforms from the 90s. So there's lots of different movies. The other movie could be, and then we go on to that. That would still allow them to stay part of the program. The thing I do like about it is you have to coach the team and you don't have a season. You still want to have a relationship with kids, work out, and so on. Allow at least 8. So varsity, the 30 hours, JV assistant, 20. Yeah. For that. Okay, that's all. The questions?
All right, thanks, Jim.
Right, thank you.
We got Melissa next.
Can I, Mr. Hunt, because you guys are going to do the update?
Your name was first, so you gotta go first.
you bet.
I just to read, it shows up in your package here on our investment reports. Check out that page. Jim and I are very interested in those numbers, following those closely, and Lane had asked if we could have a presenter from next month and explain some of our investments and bond sales and how that whole thing works. And we'll have Ryan here next month in September to talk about this. So we refer to or he'll be here. But I just wanted to share that with you because these numbers are very interesting and we're doing well. So I appreciate Lane reaching out, and we are gonna have Ryan here. I just want to share with you a shout out here on the page that looks like this from Denise Smith. It's in your packet. Couple things I want to point out about it are, one, this is all a result of us surveying parents last spring. Our parents said to us, we can't, I got it.
It's
What do you need? We asked our parents, what do you need? How can we help you with distance learning? These are the things they said. I want to know more about Zoom. I think I want to learn more about mental health issues, how kids be successful in school. I want to know about Class Dojo with Google Classroom with Chrome. So we gave that information to Denise, and she has created this awesome cadre of classes for our parents. So this is our way to help our parents, because we believe probably sometime during this year we'll be going to distance learning again. And then Denise came up with this Home Alone 101 class, just as a bonus. So we're very, very happy about this group of classes she's going to be offering. Debbie isn't able to make. He asked me for a couple pieces of information. So if you grab your pens and go to this sheet, that is the sheet. I'm going to tell you how many distance learning kids we have as of 4:55 today. And I say 4:55 today because it changes by the 15 minutes. So if you make a little column east and west for the elementary, in first grade at west, we have one distance learner. Grade 2, east, we have 2, west, we have 0. Grade 3, at east, we have 5, and at west, we have 1. Fourth grade, we have 1, I believe. Is it 1, John, or 2? Fourth grade, you happen to have those numbers right there? I have a 1 and a 2 right now. 5 in fourth grade now. Fifth
Say
grade,
again, which was that?
what's that? That was fourth grade.
Which four buildings?
West.
5 at West?
Yeah.
I believe it might be 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Fifth grade, I believe we have 1 at east and 1 at west. And sixth grade, 0. Seventh grade, we have 2. Eighth grade, we have 4. Ninth grade, we have 7. 10th, 7. 11th grade, we have 3. 12th grade, we have 1. And Jen and Melissa are going to talk about this when it's their report time, so I'm just kind of the introducer to this. They're going to talk about, I believe, a little bit about what's distance learning going to look like. Another question, this is an interesting situation. We've had 2 cases today of people, one calling me, one calling Deb, and asking this question. Can I to not have my child? All I got on this today, I said, tested while because I don't want anybody touching my kid. I said, well, we're doing no touch thermometers. So nobody's going to touch your child. Do no touch thermometer. Get the temperature. No, that's not what I mean. I don't want anybody testing my child. I'm still confused. I'm going, well, we won't. Okay, we'll tell our teachers not to put their hand on the forehead. I was just like all about the thermometer thing. I don't want the government involved in testing my child. what I finally got out of it was, and Deb asked the question this afternoon, can parents opt out of that? There's something out there, and when I say something out there, there's language out there that parents are thinking that we're going to allow the state to come in and test their children for COVID. And so about 3:30 this afternoon, I reached out to the superintendent's line, and I think this is really spending a little time here on this because I need to get this out in the paper and in the public. We will not, number one, MDE doesn't know where this is coming from. As a matter of fact, they reached back to me and said, where is this coming from? And I'm going, I don't know. I can tell you some of the words people are saying, but I don't know where this is coming from. They, as a response to my asking, there's one other superintendent who also asked this question today. They're concerned that somewhere the governor or someone made people believe there's going to be like a van that drives up and people are going to rush out and start doing nasal swab tests on kids in school.
Yeah, they call it universal testing.
Universal testing, yes. There's not going to be any universal testing. Nobody's going to come. I would never let anybody do a test on any child that the parents didn't know about, didn't give consent to. So I just want to make that very, very clear. It's something that's come up today, and MDE has actually reached out as a result of these questions, reached out to the governor's office to find out what was said, what was sent out, what is making people think that there's going to be this universal testing. So,
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think I actually read in some literature somewhere that the schools would not be doing testing.
Right.
I feel like I read that somewhere,
Yeah.
that they wouldn't be doing any testing.
MDE sent me in a response to my email this afternoon a paragraph in a document that says the service box may recommend. That's as close as anybody can come to figuring out where this is coming from. But I have a feeling there's going to be some language from the governor and the commissioner or the commissioner this week saying we are not coming out to do universal screening or testing on any kids. So, we have a lot of documents out. We should have seen our back to school. It's a comprehensive 54-page document on how we're cleaning, what we're cleaning with, how are the buses going to be, how are toys going to be cleaned, can people have toys in them, can they have rugs? Very comprehensive document. The Q&A that we came up with this week, we also have started a Q&A for next week again. And really our plan, which I just want to say, I asked for a consultation. Melissa and I worked on most of this, probably started in early July. And the first is the most comprehensive documentation of any back to school plan that they have seen so far. So feel good about that. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jen and Melissa with any more updates. That's probably the most number one labor-intensive thing we're doing now is COVID. So,
So since the meeting on Tuesday, we've really buckled down and worked on some of the larger, really big picture items. Sherry was talking about that with one document. I believe, we worked with Aaron from the IEA. Those kinds of convention, and at one point there was pre-pay that document, probably a little bit bigger than that now. We also really finding the pre-scenario plan, keeping that as a light, and things are still changing as information comes through, and different organizations that start giving feedback on how schools should open and those kind of things. And then the big piece, trying to get the information out to the families as quickly as we possibly can. And we made a lot of headway on that. Say how's it going now? The groups, the feedback we've gotten so far today has been good. I do want to make sure that I acknowledge though that I'm very well aware that there is some unhappiness just because of teachers not being available, and that's perfect exciting. Teachers work starting tomorrow. Teachers need in their rooms and attending professional development sessions and such. And we're making the preschool and kindergartners, so those parents will have access to the buildings and come in wearing the appropriate PPE, that they're going to get screened, and then they can attend this so that our littlest one will have access to the classroom if possible, and also meeting their teachers, so we want to make sure that they're comfortable coming into the schools. And those screenings will be taking place the first 2 days of school next week. What was the first thing you thought about?
Distance learning.
Distance learning, thank you. Yes, distance learning, our numbers have increased from this morning. We're probably double the amount we were at this morning. It's at the elementary level, we have a teacher in place, but we have to wait to develop a full plan, not knowing exactly what our student count's going to look like to make that as well. So I've been working on putting together a basic formula. There were teacher work out, keep the classroom teachers that can support the distance learning teacher to make sure that the students get the best out of it that they possibly can.
Well, it is for kids.
At the elementary, right now we're probably looking at about, I would say quite close to 10. I'm just been trying to, actually,
About the
give me
same.
1 second.
It's about this for the high school. They're gonna distance learn all the kids, or none of them. If I could jump in just while Deb's looking at, one of the things with Aaron Heff is that he is going to lead a Zoom meeting and train procedures in the process, so he'll be training our staff. One looking for is what I would call a distance learning facilitator. So I'm looking to hire a person that would kind of be that liaison between the students that are distance learning from home and the teachers that are here in the building. So that is a position we're looking to hire yet. I've got a couple candidates to interview for that. We are learning as we go along. One of the things that a lot of schools are choosing to do that we're not doing is some of the schools are saying if your child chooses to distance learn, they're locked in and they have to distance learn. And we are giving students the option to access distance learning and just for whatever reason, but this is not for them. Absolutely, they're welcome back in the classroom. Because one of the differences around compared to last March is that last March, the state threw out the hourly rates, and some people are choosing it. They think that it, but Laura Brisky is calling parents to double check with those that are on our list and for to them, and I've talked to them as well.
So, Melissa, will that be live then? Live streamed or not?
We're going to I shouldn't say troubleshoot, I should say problem solve that on Tuesday and Wednesday with the staff, because I really need the staff input to see how they think that we can best distance learn with our students.
Yeah, I had somebody from a different district asking about that. I wasn't aware that it was 8-4 this year. I knew we had to, it wasn't going to be as flexible as last year, but for kids without internet access and all that, I was wondering how we're going to keep them from 8-4, unless it's all pre-recorded. So, anyways, you're on top of it.
Yeah.
So even if it was a state distance learning, it's still going to be required.
I believe so. And the thing that Judd and I have talked about, I just mentioned it to him this week or something, if we go to full out distance learning, I proposed to Judd creating a K-12 distance learning schedule. So maybe, for instance, the high school ran on the hour, the elementary schedule ran on the half, so that, like let's say, from the first hour from 8 to 8:30, and then the rest of the period is study time, I could help my little brother or sister that's home if I needed to. So we're kind of looking at how could we meld and make one district-wide schedule for distance learning.
Yeah, their other question was if mom and dad both work, how are you gonna keep the kids going? So you guys are on it.
So for me, with one teacher having multi-levels, thinking about doing 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and then do 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon, so the older students would be this consistent. But again, if we have to go hybrid or completely stuff, more stuff. To answer your question about families, it's looking right now, approximately.
But our elementary judge said they're disappointed they're not getting to see their teacher. And our 7th grade parents, especially if it's their first one in the building, are disappointed that they didn't get to have 7th grade orientation. And 7th grade orientation we always do in the spring, and then when COVID hit, 7th grade orientation didn't happen. But there is a letter out to parents, and when they come to open house day here, they're getting that letter. And we are going to do a 7th grade orientation the first week of school when they get here. So we're going to try to do everything we can to reassure 7th graders and just really help them in that transition into the book. So I realize that disappointment, and we're trying to do the best we can to get the 7th graders acclimated to the book.
What about if we have a student that's been coming to school every day, and if it's to Friday and they're like, I'm going to distance learn today?
No, you're one or the other, but we're not.
We'll allow flow in and out, but
Yeah,
not on a day-by-day basis.
Yeah.
Especially if the family's doing distance learning, and maybe if you moved into a hybrid format, maybe they would feel more comfortable sending the child 2 days a week. That's a no-brainer, because if we want to make it safe and acclimate them as quickly as possible, so then it would seem like a natural transition, and then they move and transition from that all the way. Makes sense.
Okay. All right, thank you. More questions? Here we'll come to business 8.1.
I'll make a motion to approve 8.1 as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Tate. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Carmel.
So,
Oops.
Yeah, I think I took all the public comment in that.
Oh, gotcha.
Remembering part of it.
So which one do you want me to follow, 7 or 8? We'll go with 7 then. That's fine. Sorry, I'll change it. 7.1. Okay. Tate still the same. Yep. All right. Yep. Carmel, you're all right.
Yep.
Okay. Hearing none, in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. 7.2.
I'll make a motion to approve policy 808, COVID-19 face covering.
Okay, we have a motion by Julie. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Scott. Discussion? Hearing none, in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. 7.3.
I'll make a motion to approve 7.3.
All right, we have a motion. Well, is there a second? Second by Tate. Discussions? Here, favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. 4.
In the student handbook, we had our success coordinators, Sarah working on updating dates, so on and so forth, big addition to the program, which we have listed separately so that we can move on. We'll just take that section right out.
There's also a disclaimer in the COVID-19 that it says this is subject to change, and so it references them for the school website for updated information. Then we also added in there the new Title IX information.
Okay.
So basically, those were the two big changes. Everything else was just update the information.
All right.
I'll make a
Thank you.
motion
Yep, go ahead.
to approve this.
Motion by Scott, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Carmel. Any further discussion? Hearing none, in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We got, our next school board meeting is October, or September, don't have the date here, let's see.
I'm not that one to this.
Oh,
14th,
14th?
September 14th.
Okay. September 14th. Same place.
And
Yes.
one more thing.
Yep.
Inside the packet, I skipped the page that said COVID-19 notice that comes from the state high school. They're going to require us to give that to all students who participated in the league activity this year. Basically telling them we're going to take precautions, but we can't guarantee your kids not to get full COVID-19 or anybody who participates in that. I didn't agree with that.
Okay. Do they have to, or it's just for,
I won't know, they're gonna say, well, this week, this is what makes states, I won't stay the same.
you need a motion on that?
No, this way.
Okay.
The state, that one.
Okay, thank you. Did everybody catch that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thanks, Jim. I guess now I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Scott, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Julie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for coming in tonight. 6:37.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.